Before we even get to all of this, can you tell us just quickly, generally, how many times you've read this book and what your overall thoughts are upon reading it?
I don't even know how many times I've read this book. Probably at least like 4 or 5 times, um, over the course of my life. The amount of kinds of, like, narratives that are in those 200 pages, I just forget because there's the action, but then there's all these other things that happen in addition to the action.
Do you like the book?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I feel like it is I like it for a lot of different reasons, and including being like a time capsule for a particular kind of moment, 18th, 19th century sort of like Western thought and literature.
Okay. Here are my quick and general thoughts. This was my first read. Holy shit. I think this book is amazing. I think this book is like, this is one of the few classics I have ever read and been like, canon. For sure. No debate. Like usually I read these books and I'm like, I don't know. Do we need I was like, oh, babe, we need this. This is I just think to me, like what makes a classic great is that it holds up and people can read it and project their own shit onto it. And if that is not this book, I don't know what this book is. This book is like, we're going to talk about this later, but this book is basically an allegory for everything. Like anything you
Mhm.
want this to be an allegory for, I feel like we could make it work. Mary Shelley said, "Yes, it's for you." My only like my the only part of this book that I think I didn't like love is there were some sections where I was like, this is only a 200-page book and it feels slow. Like the way that information was delivered, there were times where I was like, what's happening? It does come
You got
together.
the right person to talk about this book with
Okay,
because
good.
you know I am going to defend
You love
those
us. Yeah,
sections.
of course, of course. But I'm just saying, like, for as a first time reader, I was a
Mhm.
little bit like she was like, I think she was doing it on purpose. She was like slow playing me, and I didn't love that. And in the beginning, when I first started reading it, because the language is dense, and I read a ton of books and I bounce between things that were written like that aren't even out yet. And then I go to something like Frankenstein. And so what I had to do for like the first 30 or 40 pages is I read the book out loud to myself. Like I had like an accent for Walton. Like I was doing like a full at-home stage production because I couldn't quite grasp the language at first. But then once I got like once the creature was born, I didn't have to do that anymore, but I definitely had to take my time in the beginning and like read it. And not even that like sotto voce, like whisper, like full on, like, my dearest sister Margaret, I'm out to sea. So that being said, I love this book. I love this book. I love this book. I love this book.